Man, I'm excited. I just love big events. Coop was talking, I was in the back and all fired up again. You know, for me, it's always new, and it's always fun, and it's always a chance to reinvent myself. And I need to get better. I can't go into a bright new future with my same old self. I gotta get better. And those events, they were always so life-changing for me. They reminded me why I was fighting, why I was paying that price. And man, I'm so excited for you might have done this, but how many of you, this is going to be your first big event next weekend? Wow, okay, so that's a lot of you, right? Okay, that's a big deal, man. It's going to change your life. I almost did not go to my first big event. My boss, who had recruited me, had to give me the day off at work so that I would go to the big event. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do much with that Primerica thing. So I'll give you the day off if you come with me to the big event. I'm like, day off? I'm there, right? He bought me my ticket, and he gave me the day off, and he took me down there, and I sat in there, and that changed my life. Wow. That changed. I almost didn't go. Thank God somebody saw something in me and was willing to invest in me to get me there, right? Okay, so listen, if you haven't made the decision to get there, whatever you got to do, get there. But I'm excited tonight to share with you some fundamentals and make it a little fun, okay? So everybody say fun. Look at your neighbor and say duh. And then look at your other neighbor and say mentals. The fundamentals. See, this business is a business of moving people. How's everybody feeling? Why do we do that? Because I teach you to move as a team. Right? I teach you to be proud of who we are, right? Because listen, when we got a job to do, when we got somebody to beat, when we got a record to break, we got to be on our A game. We got to be ready to move together like that as a team. See, listen, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together. And this business is a business of moving people. But before you can move people, you first got to move who? Yourself. You first got to move yourself, and that's the great conundrum of life. How do I get myself? Even Paul in the Bible said, the things I don't want to do, I do, and the things that I do, I don't want to do, right? Okay, and so you've got to be in the business of moving yourself and moving people, and to do that, you've got to learn to lead from the front. Okay, look at your neighbor and say, street cred. Look at your other neighbor and say, you don't look too gangsta to me. But if you want to be Primerica gangsta, you got to have some street cred. Like 50 Cent, right? Took 12 shells. Okay, well, you got to take some 12 dark houses, people saying no to you, right? Okay, a bunch of you got to lead from the front because, listen, that's how you get the respect of your team, and you lead from the front in activity. And so what we teach our people, listen, if you want to do something big here, the magic key, 20 appointments a week. You got 20 appointments a week set. Okay, you're going to win everything there is to win. You're going to win Hawaii. You're going to walk across that stage next weekend. You're going to go to RVP. You're going to put on a ring. You're going to become financially independent by having 20 set a week. Well, Ian, where do I get 20 people? So I want y'all to look out those windows right there. Go look. Okay, wait for it. I promise you there's a car coming. There was just 13 of them. This is really ruining my illustration here. Dadgum Lapeer Road, okay? But there's going to be cars there, okay? There's going to be cars there, and there's people going by, right, who have also left their house just like you and wandered out into the same world, who use money just like you and would like to do better with it if they could, yes or yes. So we talk to those people about what we do, and 20 a week is going to let you do 4 by 10,000. That is the magic number on which I built this business. 4 recruits a month, 10,000 in personal premium. 4 recruits a month, 10,000 in personal premium. I did that every month in and month out for 5 years. For 5 years, okay? Guys, that's 15 transactions a month. That's a transaction every other day. All I did for 2 whole days was try to get one person to say, sure, I'd like to make some extra money and change my life. Sure, I'd like to protect my family with the best product money can buy. That's all I did for 2 days was search for one person to say yes to that. That's pretty simple, yes or yes, right, okay? That's all I did, right? And watch what happens here. If you start doing this, you learn to recruit in bunches. What do I mean by in bunches? Follow me on this. Let's say you recruit 10 people direct to you in a month, okay? And then nobody else for the entire rest of the year. Or you recruit one person a month for the next 10 months. You recruited the same amount of people total over the same amount of time. Which group ended up with more people? The answer is the one that recruited them in bunches. Here's why. So I recruit Kia this month, and Kia comes in and she's excited, but I don't have any other recruiting going on, so I'm just like smothering Kia. We're going to the movies together. I'm selling her the dream, right, okay? She's like my best friend, right, okay? And then next month I recruit Rakia, but by the time I get all the way to recruiting Rakia, guess what happened to Kia? She's gone, right? She's like, well, you told me about people getting people, but I'm the only people, right, okay? And so Rakia comes in, I spend some time with her, I'm developing her, right? She's gonna be awesome. A whole nother month goes by and then I get Logan. Well, by the time I got Logan, guess what happened to Rakia? She gone, right, okay? And so that's how most people build their business, little by little by little. And everybody looking around like, where's the people? Where's the people? Now you're lucky because you're sitting in an office full of people. But when I started, I was the people in my office, right, okay? There were 3 of us. If one of us didn't show up, it was a 66% drop in attendance or something like that. It's crazy, right? Okay? And so listen, you got to learn to recruit them in bunches. If you recruited those 10 people all at the same time, when they turn their head and look around, who else there? 9 other people. Now, they're not all going to do something, but a few of them will. So Rakia starts running, and Jordan starts running, and they're competing for my time because I'm booked. And I'm like, Jordan, I can't be with you tonight out on that appointment because Rakia got me on 2. And you only booked 1. So I'm going to go with her, and you get to go with Ovi. And Ovi's a nice guy, but it's not me, right, okay? And then Jordan's like, son of a... Right, he's like, what do I got to do to get on this guy's appointment, right? And then Tanya comes in, she's like, I'm going to smoke both y'all, right? So she starts setting them, and all of a sudden, 3 or 4 out of the 10 start competing for your time, for your attention, for appointments, on the leaders board, fighting for the stud trophy, who's going to have the most people at the big event next meeting, and all of a sudden, this business starts running, and then they find a guy on their own, they're like, Coach, I got one. Like, I didn't even know you knew how to spell IBA. How did you do it? Right, okay? And it starts moving, and the business becomes fun and electric. That's how you do it. You recruit them in bunches together so that the winners see each other and they start competing, okay? So you recruit them in bunches, and then you build a double-digit team with them. Watch this formula. Okay, so I'm recruiting these 4, so you 4 stand up. These are my 4 directs this month. I'm recruiting them in a bunch. Right? Preferably in like 2 weeks. I'd rather you recruit 4 in 2 weeks and then recruit 0 the next 2 yourself than 1 a week. Why? Same idea, bunches. Okay, so here's my 4. Now these 2 quit. They're quitters. Everybody say boo. Boo. Right? They're quitters. You remember them? Me neither, right? Okay? But these guys, they stay. Now watch. I'm going to get Shane and I'm going to get Mel both to district leader because they're going to let me work with them. Right? So whose job is it to get them 3 by 3? Mine. If I got to call their list myself, that's my job to get 3 people under them and get 3 sales so they know it works and they got some people. So you guys both go get 3. Okay? Go get 3 and bring them up here. Okay? So they go get their 3. Now look. These 2 bums, they already quit, but they were part of the 10, right? So there's 2. And then here's the other 8. So what did I do? I recruited 4 in a bunch, and I got 2 of them to district, and what did I create? A double-digit team. In a double-digit team, there's always a winner. Always. Always, always, always. There's always somebody who wants to play in a double-digit team. Did I just show you how to do that? Or did I just show you how to do that, right? What do? You get 4 in a bunch. You get 2 of them to district leader. There's 10. Now watch. Let's say half of them quit. Which one of you guys want to be quitters? Raise your hand. Let's see, look, these guys are relentless, right? They'll never quit. They're diehards. Okay, so I'm going to force you to quit. You 4 quit. Okay? So here's our stayers. Now watch this. Watch this. This is called the power of consistency, right? So I'm going to get my 4 more, right? So you 4 come on up here. So I got my 4 more month 2, right? Now you 2 quit, so you're dead before you're in. Boom. They talked to somebody. Their brother-in-law said it didn't work. They're gone, okay? So here's my 2. Now I get my 2 to district, so you all go get your 3 each, okay? Now remember, half of them other guys quit. One of them goes and gets 3 more, and each one of these guys gets 1. Go ahead. Bring them up.
Come on, Andrea. Come be my 1.
I got re-recruited.
You got re-recruited. Congratulations. You made a better decision this time. Okay, now watch this. Half of you get to quit. So this half of the room, y'all quit. Okay? Now watch, I get month 3. I get 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on up here. 2 of them already quit. Sorry, you 2. No, you're good. Now they each got 3. Go get your 3. Okay, now see these guys, these 2 got 3. The rest of y'all go get 1. Okay, watch this. This is how you build an organization. Do you see that? It's not one human being by one human being by one human being. What is it? It's get them in a bunch, right? Let God sort them out and play with the winners. Okay? Play with the winners and get the, look at that, in 3 months. Folks, you could drop me in the middle of nowhere tomorrow. Give me 90 days, my team gonna look like that. Or bigger. Why? Why? Because I'm good? No, because this is a system. It's a system, but many of us don't work it with the urgency. We think like, oh, I'll talk to somebody next week, next month. No, I'd already gotten 5 people through the guy you're thinking about talking about, right? Or talking to, right? Because guess what? Who was my first people that came in here on this leg? These 2 people and that quitter, right? So that quitter, right? She lost all them people. But look, these 2, where are those 2 going? Joe, where are they going? Even if they don't go RVP, they're not quitting. They'd be like the dumbest human on the planet Earth to quit overriding all that. Who built for them? I did. Does that make sense? All right, give these guys a hand. Go ahead and sit down. You got to recruit them in bunches and then build double-digit recruiting teams. You recruit them in bunches. Hey, Mike, you were hiding there in the corner. He was the securities guy. You notice him? He didn't like all. I don't like all the hype you saying in the corner. It's too loud for me. Okay. I'm in a special mood tonight, friends. Okay. So watch. You got to keep recruiting wide. Keep getting your 4. Keep recruiting wide. Keep recruiting wide until you got some great trainers. Why? Because you're the best trainer you got right now. Some of you are like, oh, dear Lord, that's not good. If I'm the best trainer I got, that's not good. Okay? But you look at yourself and point to you. Okay, you are the best trainer you have. You're the best recruiter you have. You're the most coachable. You're the most committed. You're the most mentally tough that you have right now. So you got to keep getting people. I want to get people through my people. That's great. But you keep getting wide 4 a month, 4 a month, 4 a month till you got a couple of winners. Then what do? Once you got the winners, 40, baby. You start driving them. You start driving them. And I even recruit to those legs. I don't keep them all myself. I ain't got time to talk to 63 of you, direct line to me, you can do one, Shane. You can do it, I believe in you, right? I don't got time for that guy. So I'm going to give that guy to her, because she's good. So watch this. Watch this. This is how I built my base, okay? And where's Nate? So Nate, you come up here, big buddy, for a second. Okay, so Nate's a great example of this. So I built Nate. Nate's a great trainer. Okay? And so when I go out of town and stuff, and sometimes I just get people like, where's Andrew? Okay? Andrew, I was going in and out of town when I recruited you. So Andrew's a great guy. Now Andrew has Dan, right? Okay, so Dan's there. Okay? And so I recruited Andrew, but I didn't have time to train him, but I knew Nate could train him. So I'm like, hey, why don't you take him and build that? Right? Does that make sense? Now watch this. Okay? Let's say last month we did 300,000. Okay? If I put all my people under you, Jordan, how much would you have done last month? 300,000, right? So watch this. Instead of having 200 people each do one sale, all wide to you, you'd be super smart to have 10 guys direct to you who each had a leg that did 20,000, right? Does that make sense? You want to build legs because legs provide you stability, okay? So you go wide till you got a great trainer. And once you got a great trainer, you keep going wide, but you recruit them to her. You recruit them to her. Rhonda, I got you 2 more people. You train them. Yes, sir. Train them. And okay, guess what, boo? If Rhonda starts getting fat and lazy on Primerica welfare because I'm handing her people, guess what I'm going to stop giving her? People. But if you keep getting your own people and you're good, here, take this guy, run with him. So it frees me up more time to do what? Get more people, right? You follow that? She's a great trainer, but I'm better at finding people. So train the people, I'll find the people, Does that make sense? Now all of a sudden we're working together and Rhonda's making money because she got some people and she's building this big old team, right? And that team stays forever. You build a leg with 10 agents in it, that's a permanent leg. You get one guy with 10 people on that team, that's a permanent leg. It's never going away. Never. Ever. It will keep growing and building and building and building, right? So listen, you got to build this business on purpose. You're an architect of this structure, right? Okay, so what do? You go wide. How many a month? 4. Right? What do you do with them? Get 2 of them to district. Create double digit till you have who? Trainers. Then what do? You stop going 4 and you start recruiting to those people. Does that make sense? And you build mega legs, okay? And that lets you stay doing what you love. You got to learn to build an environment that keeps people in. That keeps people in. Folks, Primerica is a very special place, isn't it? Where else do you go on Friday night when somebody tells you how great you're going to be and that you can win and sees the potential in you sometimes before you even see it in yourself? Like my boss did that day. He gave me the day off and got me to the big event. He saw something in me I didn't see in me. And that's what we do. That's what leaders do. Leaders see people for who they could be, not who they are right now. Does that make sense? Right, okay, and so we build an environment. Guess what? Hey, listen, when you come in here, we're going to love on you. Some of you hate high fives. You're like, oh, I got to high five. I'm germaphobe, but we're going to high five you anyways, baby. I'm going to give you 2 high fives because I know you don't like them, or I'm going to get you used to it, right? We want to create an environment, a haven of positivity because it's so different than everything else, right? At your job, you're late, you didn't hit the quota, you need the TPO reports, I'm going to need you to come in for the weekend, okay, right, okay, like that guy, oh, right? And here, it's totally different. And that builds an environment that keeps your people around. Let me tell you how I think. This is an insight into building a big team. Okay? If you don't miss meetings, eventually you'll win. Why? Because if you stay around long enough, around people winning long enough, around the positive thinking long enough, eventually you'll pick enough of it up that you'll translate it into action. But you could do some of the right things for a while, start building a team, but you miss this, your people miss this, it'll fall apart eventually. You got to build an environment that keeps people in so you don't have to keep them in. You got to simplify to multiply. Some of you are too good at this business. You're talking about mutual funds and the beta of this, and your new guy's like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. It's got to be easy and simple, right? Buy, term, and invest the difference. People who get people who get people. It doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates. You understand that? We have a system here, y'all. We have a 1-page presentation. And I don't even like using the 1 page if I can avoid it, right? A 1-page presentation. And some of y'all making your own presentations, you got 17 questionnaires. You're like, but it's good. Hey, it might be good. But your people aren't going to learn it as fast. Why? It's just math. You learn 1 page or 17 pages faster. 1, you got to get people building quickly, right? Doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates. You got to systematize everything, and that's one of the things our hierarchy has done better than any other hierarchy out there. How many of you have my SoundCloud must-haves playlist? That's far too few of you. How many of you don't know what SoundCloud is? 1. Well, she's being honest, right? Okay. Listen, go find me on SoundCloud. Get my must-haves. I got 41 audios on there that if you just learn those, you're going to make big money here. Right? You listen to that over and over, systematize everything. Everything you know has got to be available to people all the time. Everybody should be using the same presentation. Why? Because if you're doing something different than him, I don't know how to help you. Right. But if you're running our presentation, there's only 3 or 4 ways you can screw that deal up, right, Ovi? Right? And based on what's going wrong, I know exactly where you're screwing it up. But if you're doing this, Bill Bob's presentation over here is the next greatest thing, but you don't even know what that is, right? It could be a million different things wrong, okay? Systematize everything. Systematize recognition, accountability, and standards, okay? Listen, we have standards here. Yes or yes? All right, we have standards here, okay? We expect certain things of people, and people chin up. That's why we're the #1 organization in the Midwest. That's why, right? Because we expect people to rise to the occasion. We have standards, right? Okay, if you don't like those standards, hey, tough luck, right? Okay, listen, regional leaders. Where's my RLs at, right? My RLs. Hey, as an RL, you get a privilege here to pay an office expense, right? Why? Because you're going to be an RVP one day who has an office, right? So why don't you learn how to do that now while you're in somebody else's office, right? Why don't you get a little responsibility? It's like a parent who never teaches their kid to make their bed, and then they're stunned when they walk into the dorm room and there's 4 feet of crap on the floor. Like, what happened here? Well, you never taught them. You got to teach them, right? We have standards that we believe help people to become strong, independent leaders. Isn't that what you want? Strong, independent leaders making money, working without you, okay? You got to talk about being big. Folks, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Right? You're literally right now creating your world with your words. What are you saying about yourself? What are you saying about your man, my team, they're just not doing anything? You're right. And they're not going to do anything. Why? Because that's what you're speaking out of your mouth. Folks, you got to speak life over people. Diamond Deb is going to be a gigantic RVP. She is a month-end player, and she's tough, and she's making the commitments right now to play hard all the time, and she's going to smoke a lot of you. Is she doing it right this moment? Maybe, right? But I believe that about her with everything in me, and so I speak that out. Hey, listen, next time you think something good about somebody, tell them. Open your mouth, write them a card, leave them a voicemail, send them a text, tell them. Right? Get those words out of your mouth. I would stand in front of a mirror and say, I was born to do this. And I didn't know. I hoped I was, but I didn't know if I would be good. But I spoke it out, right? Does that make sense? How many of you were with us at 1955 Hamlin when there were 12 of us in the room? Raise your hand if you were there. 1, 2. Okay, 2 of us. And I would sit there and we'd talk. I'd be like, guys, we're going to be #1 in the state one day. And people were cleaning our clock on the scoreboards. I mean, we were like this peanut little team of ragamuffin. Right? Did you see my hair from those days? Any of you ever see the pictures of the Pruck Bieber hair? Right? I mean, it was crazy. That's what I looked like. But we talked about it month in and month out. We're going to be #1. And guess what? Sooner or later, we started believing that about ourselves. And then we went to work, and guess what we became? #1. We said, we're going to be the fastest team ever in company history to make have a leader make $1 million a year, fastest ever. I didn't know if we could do it. I was scared to death. But I began to speak it out, right? And it became that. You got to call things that are not as though they are. I'm a big RVP. I'm a strong, confident leader. I'm the greatest recruiter there is. And you've got to begin to speak those things. Post the leader sheets. Folks, up there is the story. Right? You have your story and those have the story. And we post them and we're not afraid. We used to post those, John, remember? When we weren't #1. And we talk about being #1. Everybody could go, look, you're not #1. But we're going to be #1. And they weren't. And we said, hey, we can hide that from people. And we can pretend we're doing better than we are, or we can put the numbers up and let the truth show us what we need to do. And that's what we did. And it was uncomfortable. And now look at that, filled with yellow. We own this state, yes, we do. Right? From a bunch of people who were crazy enough to think that we could back before we did. Okay? Oh, when I see it, I'll believe it. No, when you believe it, then you'll see it. You got to make a big deal about being #1, about being RVP and doing it big and doing it fast. You got to push up your upline in your system. Folks, listen, your upline could be a dadgum monster, and you know what? You owe them everything you have because they didn't quit. Yep. Like all the other pansies along the way who weren't tough enough to give you an opportunity. Right? And listen, our leaders here are some of the greatest people in the world. Okay, but you got to push them up. Guess what? Sometimes you're not going to see eye to eye with them. Right? Sometimes you're going to have a difference in philosophy, but you always push them up. You always push them up. You push up each other. Hey, you see somebody down here? Go cheer them up. Go tell them how they're going to be big. Remind them of their dream again. Right? That's abnormal, right? Everybody's in their own little world. Woe is me. Listen, you got to go and be that bigger person. Go be that leader that pushes people up. Okay, Grant Cardone said this, you need people to push you up. If you're the only cheerleader in the room, it won't work. It won't work. Who's going to be our cheerleader here? Who's going to be a cheerleader for the greatest system in Primerica? Who's going to be a cheerleader for the fastest team ever to get to? Who's going to be the cheerleader? Who's going to sing the praises of the leaders in our organization? That can be you. And I mark my words, when it's you, guess who's going to be singing your praises pretty soon? Other people who watched you be that selfless leader, right? Okay, listen, treat people right. Treat them how you want to be treated. Right? Give to your people. Bend over backwards for them. Make sacrifices for them. Let them know you care. Man, I love my people. Okay? Be fair to them. Be fair. Those of you who have had disputes or different things, you know, if anything you know about me, I'm going to be exceedingly fair. I'm going to be fair. I want to be just to everybody. Be honest. Tell the truth. This business needs no embellishment. Right? Man, my upline in Sri Lanka, he's making 900 million a month selling euros of miracle juice, right? Okay, and it's always the guy like in Sri Lanka, right? We'll be on a conference call next month. Make sure you get on, pay your $199 a week for your auto ship, right? That's how these other deals work. We don't need that here. You got people right here. You touch them, making 20, 30, 40,000, 80,000, 100,000 a month. You need to make stuff up about our business. It's good enough to stand on its own. Need no one, but love everybody. What do I mean by that? See, when you're wide, you're not dependent on people. See, I love John Cooper, but if John Cooper quits, guess who I'm going to get? Streets, a Genie's, Crocchio. I love this man, but I don't need him. Do you understand that? Okay? And some of you needy, right? You needy. Stephen Furtick says you thirsty, right? Okay? You're thirsty. You got to need nobody by doing what? Get why? See, you can't lead them if you need them. You can't lead them if you need them, right? And I'll close with this, and we'll get into some recognition. This is a great statement. I want $1 million in my happy account and $1 million in my bank account. And Primerica gave me both, right? And it can give you both. In the world, the options are make a lot of money, lose your family, be miserable, stress 80 hours a week, or you can have a great family life, but you're going to get passed up for the promotion, you're not towing the company line, and in our business, you can have both. The more you make, the more free you become. Just today, I had a phone call with a great friend of mine, a man who is extremely influential in my life. Led me to the Lord, and I worked at his church. Great man, and I've kept in touch with him over the years. Makes a good amount of money working for a charity, like a regional director. And I was just chatting with him, and we talked today. And he said, "Ian, you know what? I decided I wasn't going to be traveling 25 weeks a year anymore. And for the first time in my life, in the last year, I've constantly had this thought of what happens if they don't need me anymore." What happens then? And I could hear in his voice, he had made a choice for what mattered most, and he felt because of his choice, there was a target on him. Right? Because he wasn't going to do anymore what they needed him to do. Right? And so he's like, "Man, where are you going to be?" "I'm going to meet him in Tulsa." He's flying from Colorado to Tulsa to meet me while I'm in Tulsa. Right? Folks, people want that. Everybody wants that. Right? You can have it all here. A great family life, a great spiritual life. Right? You can have a great financial life. You don't need to give up anything there. Why? Because it's people getting people. It's an override and ownership system where you can own your time, own your wealth, own your freedom. Folks, that's exciting. Listen, I'm fired up. This weekend's going to be incredible. Let's charge hard into that event. The question is, how many people can you have with you on your team that can see this and change their life next weekend? That's your number one job for the next 7 days. Now, put people at that big event. I promise you, we're going to deliver for you big. God bless you guys. Let's get on our feet for some recognition.